Chrissy, it's Liz Holloway from Liz Holloway's Design, and welcome to my video tutorial on how it's made. In this tutorial, I'm going to show you how to create this ugly Christmas sweater card by using the Holiday Home Stamp Set and the matching framelits. Now, I have got a bit of a cold today, and I apologize if I am unclear. So let's get started. You'll need a 4 1/4 by 11 inch Whisper White cardstock, and then you're going to score this at 5 1/2. Then you're going to take your 4 1/4 by 5 1/2 designer paper, and you can take any designer paper as long as it's got lots of different patterns to it. And Stampin' Up's paper are double-sided, so you could have two choices to choose from. I'm using the multi-purpose glue and applying them to the back of the designer paper and attaching it to the base card. Now I'm taking a 1/2 inch by 4 1/4 inch strip, and I'm adding to the bottom of the base card and basically using the opposite design of the designer paper. I'm just wiping off the excess if you have glue coming out of it. Now I'm taking my ruler and I'm going to place a mark on center of the card, which measures at 2 1/8 of an inch. And I'm going to bring in my Big Shot, the circle number 3 die, and I have already marked the center of the circle horizontally and vertically. I'm placing the horizontal mark right on the edge of the cardstock, and then the vertical lining up with the place marker. Carefully making sure that it doesn't move. Place your acrylic on top and then crank it through your Big Shot several times. You are going through 3 layers, so you want to make sure that the cutter cuts through all 3 layers. Next, I took my remnant designer paper number 3 and number 4 circle collection framelits and I'm aligning both dies together at the horizontal line. Once that is cut, add the half circle to the base card, lining up at the curve and the straight edges. To create the shoulder lines, I took my corner punch by We Are Memory corner chomper, and I'm using the 1/2 inch side, aligning the corners at the guide. Now, if you don't have this bunch, you can easily use the number 2 circle collection die, but the only problem is that it will create an indentation on the back of the card. So basically what you want to do is slip the corner underneath the die and then running it through the Big Shot. I don't want to have an indentation, so I'm going to use the other chomper on the other corner. To make the sleeve, I'm bringing in my stamping trimmer, lining the right side at the 3/4 inch mark, and then placing the cutter indicator at the 3 inch and cutting from the 3 inch to the edge of the sweater. I'm going to flip the base card over and repeat the same process, lining the right side edge at 3/4 inch mark and then taking the cutter indicator at 3 inch and then cut from the 3 inch to the edge of the sweater. To get the space between the cut edge, using the placement cutting mat, line the top of the edge of to the right of the mat and then cut, and then the bottom cut edge to the cutting line, so you have like a bit of an angle. If the angle is not cut all the way through, you may have to take your paper snip to cut the angle out, and repeat the same thing on the other side. I'm using the Itty Bitty accessory punch pack, and now this is retired, but you can use anything you want to make this ugly Christmas sweater. I'm punching out 4 trees and then gluing them at the edge of the stripes and then trimming off the excess. I'm punching out a star using the Itty Bitty accent punch pack and the Daffodil Delight. Next, I am using the Holiday Home Stamp Set and inking it with Versamark and then pouring the black embossing powder over the stamped images and shaking off the excess. At this point, I'm preheating my heat gun and then I want it warmed before applying the heat to the powder. This is because I want the powder to melt quickly without warping my cardstock. Once I have applied the heat, I cut out the houses with Cordon Holiday Home framelits, and this is an awesome packages together just because you don't have to do any fussy cutting. When I was using the heat gun, there are areas that I didn't heat, but that is okay. I have a quick fix for you. I took a fine black liner and just outlined the areas that are missed. No one will ever know that there is a mistake, and you can continue on with your projects without having to do it again. I'm going to add some background music like I have done before so that you don't have to watch me colors. All the colors will be linked up to the YouTube video, or you can find them on my blog. I'm applying glue to the back of the houses and then aligning them up on top of the strip. Next, I'm using the Versamark again and the Santa and Sleigh and pouring the black embossing powder and shaking off the excess. Now, I forgot to add the embossing buddy, and some of the powder is sticking where I don't want it to be. If this happens to you, just use a fine dry paintbrush and brush off the excess off. Again, preheat the heat gun and then heat the powder until it's melted. Last but not least, I'm adding sequins to the ugly sweater, and just to make it a little bit more interesting, just using your glue dot and applying them directly onto your card. The video is now coming to an end, and I thank you for stopping by. A list of supplies can be found at my blog at lizhollowaydesign.blogspot.com, and I'll put a link to the bottom of my YouTube. Thanks so much for joining me, and have a great day.